you just reconfirmed for me why it's necessary that people access so many different modalities. There is no one way to treat trauma. And we are all traumatized at a particular level.
Yes.
And you have to find which door is willing to be opened at that time. And I love the work that you're doing because it takes people in the seduction of consciousness through novelty. You never know what's going to be the key that unlocks something. And, excuse me, I have a core belief. After going through talking therapy myself, there's nothing wrong with talking, but there are places in us that words can't reach. And I call that, when I'm working with clients, the place of the unknown. This is where you're in the land of feeling and you feel something is wrong. You feel something is out of balance. And it's important to follow that energy to find out what needs to be fixed. And you just explained so many beautiful ways people can do, not just fixing themselves, they can work on the whole family system.
7 generations.
Yes.
Forward and backwards.
That's right. And, you know, the Native Americans talk about
yes.
You do everything for multiple generations
right.
out and multiple generations back.
Right.
And I think it's really important that people don't think that this is just it.
Right.
There's so much more. We are so much more.
Right.
And we have a responsibility to use as much of us as possible.
Yes.
About a year and a half ago, I started really consciously working on decalcifying my pineal gland and activating that and making sure that that was facile and tapping into things. And I have a friend who had me using this supplement called Ormus. And I started taking the Ormus, and I'll tell you, it was like this psychic explosion happened. And I started saying things that were coming out of me, and my friends would stop and look and say, she never did that before. She did crazy things, but she never did that before. You don't know what's going to happen until you put yourself in the space for the magic to reveal itself. Right. And sometimes you're not going to get it if you're just sitting in a chair comfortably talking. And you're not going to get it listening to a tape. You have to be active.
It's an interactional experience, right. And it's an energetic experience,
Absolutely.
And often an energetic exchange.
Yes.
And I really like what you said initially, which was people need to find what resonates
yes.
energetically, not just with the knots that they're carrying,
yeah.
but also with the kind of guidance that a particular practitioner may be drawing in.
Yes.
I may come in and need something from one practitioner and something unravels or something dissolves, and suddenly I'm aware of the next layer, and I may need a different practitioner
right.
with a different set of frequencies and a different skill set to unlock the next piece.
Yes.
And following my own inner thread of awareness to what needs to happen next, mm-hmm. which may lead someone to you for a piece of work, which may lead someone to Mark or a yoga class for a piece of work, or to a different type of body work. That's the beautiful flow that can occur in a wellness center where you have multiple people presenting multiple opportunities for transformation.
Yes. And everybody's bringing something completely different to the table, even if the label that they're working under is the same label. Right. Because we're all different expressions of spirit. So whatever comes through is going to come through in that unique way that it expresses itself through you. And lately I've been getting the image of, my dad used to grow flowers because he had little girls. So we were always playing house, and he would plant specifically for us to touch because there were others we were not supposed to touch. And one of the flowers that comes to me is the zinnia, and how they have all these tiny little petals and they open one by one. Human beings are very much like that. And by the time the last one opens, life is complete this time around. But we're in Earth School. And there's always another lesson and another lesson and another lesson. And every time you think you have completed one, there's another.
My teacher, John Upledger, in craniosacral therapy, one of his more famous lines is, we unfold that last petal, and about 8 minutes later we die.
It's true. It keeps the journey interesting.
the journey interesting. And it's not about finishing. It's about continuing the journey and continuing to explore and peeling off the layers of what keeps us separate from truth, what keeps us separate from ourselves, and what keeps us separate from others. Learning to love and learning to let go so that we can belong, so that we can love each other. Like you said, fall in love with ourselves and fall in love with others is the joy of living.
That's right.
And what can we do as practitioners is to help you discover how to find your joy, how to unlayer the layers, how to let each petal unfold of the beautiful being that you are. And the journey isn't over until you're over.
That's right.
And sometimes not even then.